Oh, we're starting. Excellent. Okay, hi everyone. My name's Theon Sims, one of your co-hosts of the Limitless podcast. Joining me as always is your co-host, Dr. Matthew Preston. Hail up the people in Matthew.
Hey guys, what's up?
Nice. So today, Matthew and I were saying we need to actually talk about the stocks we kind of like for the year 2023. So that's this episode. So this episode, we're gonna just talk about stocks we like, stocks we think may do pretty well throughout the year.
Mhm.
Um, and we may give our various reasons as to why, but of course, the disclaimer is we are not financial advisors. Any stock price predictions or anything we say in this is just entertainment purposes only, right? Should not be taken as financial advice. It's important do your own research, consult a licensed financial advisor, right, before making any investment decisions. We had a great one on our last episode, or on one of our recent episodes, I should say. Danai Hall, you can link him. He's quite available on Twitter. And so yeah, let's start our episode, Preston. So
Mhm.
2023 gonna be a great year. I just feel it, right? Even though, I mean, a lot of people have some negative outlooks on the year and interest rates being so high and so on. But hey, the game is individual companies, right? So
Mhm. You don't buy the market.
don't buy the market, right? We just have to find the gems, right? Those
Mhm.
unpolished diamonds. All right. So tell me, bro, like, well, you can say whether the stock is in your portfolio or not, because obviously I think that the stocks that we like are stocks that should be in our portfolios. But we don't have
Buying
to
is
say what's,
believing.
yeah, buying is believing.
Buying
For
is
sure.
believing, yo. Buying is believing.
That's facts. But we don't have to actually say which stock is in our portfolio. But you can just say whichever
No,
stock you
I
like.
don't. I'd say.
Okay, fair.
Um. So I guess my first pick. I mean, I feel like we've spoken about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we probably don't even have to go too much into it. Probably one of my first picks would be dollar. You
Okay.
know, dollar, good old reliable dollar.
Love that stock.
I mean, you love it enough to buy it?
Bro, I've already made money on dollar. I think we spoke about it before, as in
Mm,
from IPO, from even before after the IPO, there was a point where maybe a couple weeks after the IPO it fell below $3, or a week after that. Yeah, a couple weeks after fell below $3. I was buying heavily, and then it.
mm,
I remember I sold some parts like 380s. So it was like from two. My average price was like 280 to three, and then I sold like 370. So I mean, it's a great company, great company, and I
mm,
mean they just completed their bond, right, or the debt. Sorry, they borrowed a lot of money. It was like $1.2 billion, was it? I remember they
yeah,
they wanted one
just under
billion dollars.
1.2.
Yeah, and then they upsized it to 1.2. So I mean, how quickly did they unlend that 500 mil from the IPO?
Mm. Well, I guess we'll see with the report.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how quickly
Yeah,
they can.
I mean,
And
people are waiting on that.
yeah, people are. You think we'll see one of their subsidiaries? You think we'll see? Do you think they'll report it like that? I'm talking Ultra in terms of if they report Ultra. Do you think the full effect would have come in October, November, December, or are you thinking
Mm. I mean,
next
by full
quarter?
effect.
Meaning, if you get a all right, when did they get the full amount of money, the $1.2 billion?
Oh, as in when did the bond close?
Exactly.
I think it was it October? Let me
Okay.
check though. Um, when did the bond close? So it closed October 1st. Well, initially it was to close October 1st, and they extended it up to October 18th. and then they had the listing ceremony.
Mm.
But the thing is, remember, sometimes with like business, you don't, if you can do like, what do you call it? I think it's bridge
A bridge
financing
loan.
and stuff like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or bridge loans. So if I was Dollar, didn't Dollar actually have a bridge loan though?
I'm not
I feel
sure.
like they actually did have a bridge loan. But if I was Dollar, right? If I know I'm about to get this whatever $1 billion or whatever, um, what I would do if I have customers that I think I could lend out the money to, and I could make a certain percentage on it, instead of waiting for the bond to close to then get the money to lend it out to them, suppose the person wants the money now, and I could start earning money if I can just get money to lend to them. What I would do is borrow money from someone at a good interest rate in the meantime, lend it to the person, get interest on that money, make money from that person, then paying me the interest rate or interest, the loan, and then when I get the money from the bond, I'll just pay off the person that I borrowed the money from. You know?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm actually looking at one of the articles on Ultra. Well, I say a big thing about Ultra, and they were saying that uh, I'm gonna put the article in the show notes. Of course, it's dollar going Ultra. So I think this is First Rock's website, and they're talking about the company will be repaying $100 million bridge loan from parent company First Rock PE once the bond
Mm.
reconciliation is complete. So you're right. They did do
Yeah, so they did bridge loans in the
a
past.
bridge loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um,
Okay. So talk to me. Why you really like dollar?
um
Apart from,
I
of
mean a couple.
course, the money that we
So
just talked about that
I
they're
think
getting.
one, I mean, I expect the profits to be really good, and I think other people will expect the profits to also be really good. I think there'll be a lot of news coming out about them because I think they're very creative. Like, look at recently. You notice, when did the notice come out about them partnering with Fosrich? January 26th, not too long ago. They're going to be doing that deal with Fosrich,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think they were explaining that, like, it was interesting because Dollar but was two thing, or it works with, like, I guess two companies that supply solar stuff, because they had that partnership with, was it RTA Biz,
Mm-hmm.
which was like an energy company, and I think that was from last year.
Yeah.
And then they also now are partnering with Fosrich,
Mm-hmm.
which I found very interesting. So like with the RTA Biz, I think it was the Dollar Green Energy Loan, and then they were saying that like they would help to finance things like a solar panel, solar water heater, generators for people's homes and stuff.
Mm.
And I think they even gave examples of like how much money the loan, or how much money the system would cost. So like a system could be like 1.2 to 7 mil, and
Mm-hmm.
then like with the Fosrich thing, that they actually told us a bit of information about that. Like they said they'd be willing to finance basically most of the solar energy system, or most of the solar water heater, like up to
Up to
90% of it.
yeah, 90%. That's pretty good.
So I think
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Like I think a lot of news will be coming out, and that's not the first partnership that they've had. They've literally had. Remember, they had the partnership with was it Innovative Systems,
Mm-hmm.
that computer store and stuff. Well, more than computer store, but just
Tech and so
what do you
on.
call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like tech store and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're gonna continue to see them just being creative. Like they're not like boring. Like you think Access or anything will be doing stuff like this. When was the last time you heard any news about Access and stuff like that,
That's
or
true.
ISP, or
Or
uh,
any other
Lasef?
microfinance
Have
company.
I
Yeah.
heard? I don't know if I've heard anything about Lasef in a while, but like I think there's gonna be a lot of news coming out
Yeah.
about deals that they're gonna be doing partnerships. They're gonna be,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna be offering this, and then if you tie that up, that's literally, if they're a loans company, they lend money to people like that. All they have to do is get, you know, like they're literally looking for avenues to lend out the money, and then they can raise. I expect them possibly to do another bond raise or borrow more money this year. I wouldn't be surprised that happens, or some other form of like financing.
Yeah.
I mean, and then even link that back to Mayberry. Remember the article that came out maybe last week about Dequity? and Dequity basically saying that they are going to be listing on
Main
the main
market.
market of the JSE, and then
Mm-hmm.
Mayberry is going to be their advisor. And then they specifically said that it wouldn't just be Dequity they're advising; they'd advise any of their associate companies or
Mm.
subsidiaries. Dollar is an associate of Dequity. Dequity owns basically 20% of Dollar, and then look at the influence that Dequity has over Dollar.
Yeah, true.
Kadeen
Yeah.
founded Dequity, and then Kadeen founded Dequity, and then Kadeen is the CEO of Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So Mayberry could easily help them with things like that, and then it benefits Mayberry in multiple ways.
It does.
Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like you meant that Mayberry can eat off. Um, they can lend the money to Dollar,
Mm-hmm.
or they can arrange a deal where someone is lending money to Dollar, but Mayberry arranges that deal. They earn profits, or they earn a percentage of that.
Like a
And then
commission.
when the profits start to the commission, but then when
Mm-hmm.
the profits start to roll in, if you can possibly see an increase in dollar share price, they can then benefit from that. Because look, where is MJE? Like MJE is one of the,
They're top 10. I'm not
are
sure
they
where they are.
top five? I think they're like all third or fourth.
Let me check back.
Let me see. Up to September, end of September last year, they were at, where is this? They were four. Well, yeah, fourth.
Mm.
Yeah, they were fourth. So that's one of the things. So the expected profits, the news, they might even do some acquisitions. I remember they
That's what
actually
I was
had
gonna
hinted
ask
about.
because they wanted to. They were talking about access for the whole the latter part of the
Not
year.
even
There
just
was.
access, bro. It doesn't necessarily have to be access. I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying. My
any.
biggest thing is all right. So the same thing we were talking about before. It doesn't have to be access. It could literally be any other microfinance institution that would be
Mhm. I think even
immediately accretive to earnings, as you say. Like
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, if it, I remember reading articles about. I don't know if I can find one of them. Like some of, how like they have those, was it Jam Fin and Jam Fad, like the Jamaica Microfinance Association, and
I
there's
remember
two of
reading
them.
it in the
Is
prospectus, in Dollars prospectus.
Odala spoke about it? Oh, so let me find it. Jamfin, Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
Association of Microfinancing, Jamfa, Jamaica Microfinancing Associations. There was like this article where they were, one of the high ups there was talking about like what's likely going to happen in the um there's going to be a lot of like consolidation, a lot of people buying up a lot of these companies, because if the company can't face the regulations that are coming in with the Microcredit Act,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have to sell, or they're gonna have to stop. They're gonna have to, like,
Lock
yeah,
up shop.
you cannot keep operating.
Yeah.
So you're put in a position where you kind of in between a hard rock and a, yeah, you're losing your bargaining chip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Dollar can get something, a loan book on the cheap. Imagine
And it
getting a
doesn't
hundred
even
million
have to.
dollar loan book
Mm-hmm. For
for like
cheap,
50 mil.
precisely.
Yeah, things like that.
And my thing is, it doesn't even have to be something enormous. Like it doesn't have to be something huge. I like access that everyone thinks that they're gonna
Hmm.
buy. Could be
That's how
something
smart it
small.
was. Like, and then look, they're on the JSE, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the JSE. Not
Suppose them buy
just
something
like,
else
yeah, you
like
can,
ISP,
yeah, you
bro.
can.
You would you be surprised if you said them buy ISP?
I
I don't
don't
think
know.
I'd be that shocked. I mean,
Uh,
they have their picks, bro. They could literally
uh,
pick any and anyone.
uh.
Nah, for several reasons, I do like dollars still. So
And then,
okay, keep
well,
going,
I
keep
guess
going.
later,
Mm-hmm.
those are like more the more acute stuff, because later on, I do see them likely listing Ultra, and I
Yo,
think there could even be a benefit to Dollar shareholders. That's probably like,
if they spin
maybe
off Ultra,
next 3 years,
who knows?
next 3 years
Who
maybe,
knows how big Ultra is
latest.
getting right now? Ultra is getting pretty big right now still.
We know. I mean, they at big up, yo. We should big up Stocks on the Rocks. We
Mm-hmm.
went. We went last was it Friday? Last week
Friday.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good stocks on the rocks. Probably like my third stocks on the rocks or so.
Mm-hmm.
David Henrique is the CEO of Ultra. Big him up. Cool guy. He said, trying to remember. He actually said their loan book at the time, like up to the latest time. I think I may be wrong on this, but what I remember, I think he said 320 mil.
Mm.
And if you
And
look at that, the
the previous
latest,
articles didn't say that.
yeah,
At
well,
the,
no, they said they gave a
they gave several ranges, as we said.
the loan book that this no the loan book like the last said. So the last article I'd seen,
Mm-hmm.
the loan book they said in December was 250 mil.
Mm.
That was with about 2 months of operating, and basically end of January.
Yeah.
So 1 month later,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can track things like that. So how much is that? That is 70 mil.
Mm.
70 mil
Just
or
added just like
a
that. It's crazy, yo.
yeah
Like a company like Dollar, because
30% increase
yeah,
in
and
their loan book in 1 month.
in terms of like a long term stock, it's in my opinion an easy, like I would definitely, if I wanted a long term stock, I would definitely pick it, because if you're lending
When
out,
you
if you
say
have
long term, what do you mean?
uh,
Qualified.
even like 10 years, bro, because
Mm-hmm.
meds, your loan book has to grow if you are making good decisions with who, and you're doing your due diligence and so on. It, like, who you're lending out the money to, because you have decent size interest rates, right? You collect those profits and you just reinvest the profits, bro. Your loan book will grow no matter
Mm-hmm.
what.
Remember,
And
most of their
they
loans
paid
are still.
dividends. They paid a
Mhm, but
huge, well, I wouldn't say huge, but it was a decent dividend. Was it four
yeah, it
cents
was a
out,
decent dividend.
just out the block, bro?
You used your dividend, or what you did with your dividend? Wait, were you a shareholder at the time?
Yeah, I don't know. It just went to my savings account. I don't think I did anything with my dividend. Did you do something with your dividend?
I think so. I think I might use it to pay off some of my credit card or something. Like I had
Mm,
bought some stuff. Trying to remember what I had bought that month. What? Wait, when
mm,
did they pay the dividend? Maybe I can't remember.
uh,
Paid the dividend in November. I
yeah.
probably. Oh wow! I know what I did. So I was buying some. It was paid December 7th. Yeah, so that would have been some of the Christmas stuff I had bought.
Mm,
Yeah,
nice.
so that it did help. Did help. Yeah.
Big up. But
Yeah.
yeah, big up David still, Enriquez. He should come on the podcast. Um, David, if
You
you're
should.
listening, yeah, join us the Limitless way.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so
Um.
dollar, I like it. I do like it. I like it quite a bit. 2023. Give me a price. Give me a price. You see it ending the year at. No, it's
Um.
arbitrary, bro. What's
I
the worst? It
mean,
doesn't hit it. Come on,
I'd say
any price.
worst case. I'll be conservative. So I'd say I expect it to close here. Definitely needs to close here probably above $4.
Okay, okay, and it's at $2.90 now. So
So just call it three. So
mhm.
at worst, like probably 30%.
Okay,
Not bad. And then the beautiful part about dollar that I should put is that it's a stock that trades very well. So
mm,
like it's not like some stocks you'll look at, as much as like the price can increase and stuff like that.
yeah.
I always remember that you always have to be able to sell stuff. So it's like if
Are you talking to the high net
you're
worth
up,
individuals, or high net worth listeners? You guess you
like
guys
I've
know who you
seen,
are.
yeah, but like I've seen some stocks like the buy queue is almost non-existent and stuff like that.
Mm,
Like dollars buy queue, like dollars Q, it trades heavily. It's like let me look at like right now, like when I'm comparing it, let me see, dollar. Yeah, if you wanted to sell over $1 million tomorrow, you could. You know,
yeah,
like some stocks I look at, if you have like you can't sell a lot amount, like it would take you'd to sell a lot amount, you'd literally be tanking the price of the stock.
yeah.
And I've seen days where dollar is even better. I've seen days where you can sell $5 million
Mm,
and not even drop it, maybe like not even 5% or something like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's another, I guess, pro. It's like something that I think it's gonna be like a base for me. It's like, okay, I can put money in it, take it out, put it back, and it's like I can comfortably move in and out and stuff.
Yeah, that's. I think we were talking about a couple of days. Like you always have to have stocks in your portfolio, especially if you're rich. You know, you have to have stocks in your portfolio that you can easily jump out of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know. Suppose you need the cash and you
Like, I
need
remember
to.
at the end of the day, guys, there's a reason. Like, I think I was saying it to my brethren just today. Like, he, should I call it, man?
You do
Nah.
have
Well, let's just
to.
leave it anonymous. But basically, he had this expense, like something happened to his car, and he doesn't know exactly how much it's gonna cost, but he had his shares and he sold like a percentage of his portfolio. Um, and then maybe like a few days later, the stock went up like by 10-15% or so. And he was like, messaging me today. He's like, damn, man, like I shouldn't have sold this. And I was like, well, like I was just like, wait, what did you buy the stock for in the first place? And he's like, yeah, to make money because I expect it to go up. And then what's the point of making the money? So he's like, so eventually I can spend it. And I was like, well, you did this, like the portfolio did what it should.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you can always look back and say, yeah, I should have sold. But like at the end of the day, at least like your portfolio helped you with what you did,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess ask myself that same question. So a stock on the JSE that I think's gonna do pretty well this year. Let me scrolling down. My Money JA, big up My Money JA. Oh wow, look at this one that was recently listed. We had an episode about it. RPL. I do
Mm.
like RPL actually. What My Money JA has it closing at $1.67. Is that the? It's the highest it's closed in a
Mm.
while still. Wow. I've actually just been casually like passively watching this stock. Um, really like
Mm.
this company. Just listed last year, late last year, 2022. But why I like it so much is the expectation of amazing profits. I think now that they have proper gas stations and they're opening up two new gas stations, right? I
Mm.
think the prospectus had one in Paradise Pen and Negril, those two. And the timing of the opening of those, right? Meaning they wanted it. I think they said Q1 of this year, so they
Mm.
should be fully operational Q1 of this year, right? They
Mm.
weren't really selling gas before. I mean, they were, but they weren't really selling gas before. I feel like when these two gas stations open up, bro,
Mm.
trouble, bro. Right, and these are in really good locations too. I mean, Negril, that's pretty good. Like, and then they're all, as you said in our um, RPL episode, and you guys can
Mm.
listen back to our RPL episode, right? Where we talk about Regency. There's Regency Petroleum Limited. It's all Cocos, which is company owned and company operated service stations. So those profits should be pretty decent. I'm expecting something really nice.
Wait, did they
Uh,
say both of the gas? They said both of the new gas stations are Cocos?
I know at least one should be a Coco. I remember them mentioned. I'm not sure about both.
I think they specifically stated the Paradise Pen one would be a Coco or a company owned, company operated gas
Mm,
station. But
I mean,
I'm
we saw what happened when Fesco opened a Coco, and that was just one Coco, right? So
mm,
I don't know. I'm just curious to see when those what. All right, so if they're fully operational between in Q1 of this year, so that's between January and March, the real expected results we should see in the following quarter when it's a whole quarter full of profits. So that would
mm,
be what, April, May, June, and that would come out
mm.
based on JSE's rules, and it would be their what Q2. I'm not sure when their year would be, but if it is that it's not an audited report, a year end report would come out what August, mid August. Is that how that works? Hold on. April, May, June.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just
mid
check
August.
when did they report, or when is their financial year?
Hmm.
Let me see. And their prospectus. So
Yes, you making a sound. Okay, prospectus.
where's the report? Oh no,
It
I think I followed
looks,
the regular because it says 6 months ended June 2022.
yeah,
So they
31st.
followed the regular.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is, are they going to report the? Are they gonna
Q4.
which way?
You're
Yeah, are they
wondering if
gonna
they're gonna
do
report the Q4.
unaudited, audited, or just audited straight?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something we should go over actually.
Oh yeah.
Like
So
something.
as in the
No, go.
rules,
Mm-hmm.
as in stating whether. So what Preston was saying is, you said unaudited, audited, or full audited. So they could report. So their year end would be December. So their year goes from January to December. So how a company would report their Q4, their final quarter, is they can either do, as Preston said, unaudited, audited, meaning they can release their Q4 numbers unaudited. And if you do that, you follow JSE rules, which is, I think, 45 days after the end of the quarter.
The
What?
latest.
The latest, right? So up to 45 days. Or you can, and then you can release your audited afterwards. And the audited, I believe, is what, 60 days? I really need to go over the rules, but I'm
Okay,
almost sure.
how I remember it
Mm-hmm.
is that okay. First, if you're doing normally with reports, like say quarter one, quarter two, quarter three,
Mm-hmm.
right? You normally have most quarters. You have the up to the most 45 days after the quarter ends, right? So usually the baseline or standard is just 45 days. But think of it as when you're going into the quarter four or the final quarter of the year, it's a little different. So you can keep the regular reporting standard, which is the drop the report for the 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then think about it. Remember what an audit is. It's like, think of it as you literally hire someone who, like a team of accountants, like an accountant company, they're going to go through the report and like double check and things like that, right? That takes time. So it's almost like if you do the unaudited, you give us that information early on, like the or maybe I should phrase that a different way. It's like the longest you can take to give us some amount of information about the report is 45 days. And then the you have to give us that information within that time so we can know a bit about our company as
Mm-hmm.
shareholders. That's like, all right. So you have to give us some amount of information. And then once you've given us that information, we then give you a little more time to do an audit. But in the case of, so that's where you do the unaudited. So 45, within 45 days after the quarter ends, you give a little more time. And then that's where you do the 90 days. So you've given us some amount of information. So you've appeased us. And then we're going to give you time to go through the reports. And it's not so bad because, I mean, we're giving you time, like they're going to double check it and whatever. But remember, it shouldn't really be much different. It really should be basically the same. Like it's just like a double check kind of thing. But usually there's not really much difference. I mean,
Yeah.
technically there can always be, but there's not much difference. But then
It's
you can go
usually
the
just
other
tiny
route.
discrepancies. Yeah.
The other route is that, okay, you you haven't you can just release the audited straight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you a little more time than the typical reporting period, which is the 45 days. But we can't give you a ridiculous amount of time because we still need to have some information about the company.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just release the audited alone, no unaudited, we'll give you a little more time to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. So it's like the company can choose, okay, do I want to give them some preliminary information and then can give some more time for me to work on my audits, then release the audit? Or do I just want to do everything in one go, but I have to do it a little earlier, or I'll have to work on the audit a bit faster? But then technically, the rules say that they have to tell you, well, if they do it like say they do it a standard way, like every year, certain most companies they might do it the usual way. Like they're either a company that does the unaudited, or they'll just do the audited straight. It's like
Mm.
if you're going to change that, you actually have to tell us as shareholders. I could probably check, if anyone knows
Actually,
like
quick question: when did they even list?
mm,
That's also another thing,
so they
because if
listed I think December 15th.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ceremony was held Thursday, December 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they listed in the quarter, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, they have to report.
Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
yeah. So that's RPL.
Hmm.
So you said you like RPL. You're saying that basically the gas stations, you're you're banking on that the profits from that gas, those two gas stations that they should be opening this quarter,
Yeah.
within this quarter, the profits. I guess you're saying that you expect the profits to actually come in. Um,
Well, I would expect them to start coming in. The only problem is you have to weigh the opening up a new gas station. That's gonna your expenses are gonna increase, right? So unless it's a buzzy gas station, right?
well, I think based on what they said,
Oh, based on what I'm hearing, I hear
wait,
it's buzzy.
wait, I'm just mentioning like you could actually just check, is the
Yeah.
gas station open? Like you meant how you well, hmm, yeah, like you meant how like that's the different levels of like an investor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the investor that could be banking on, oh yeah, I'm hoping that this gas station they're gonna open is gonna make them a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said that they're gonna open it at a time, but you meant like the different levels. The person who could be more serious about their investments could just actually check.
Yeah,
Like it
you
might
could
not
just
be
Google it.
very public information. Like, well, this is the kind of thing that I think more companies should, like, for example, post on their social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you could check like their Instagram or their Twitter or their website. They might actually tell you, oh, the gas station is now open, and then you could actually go to the gas station and see, like, if you live. I guess the only problem is that, like, for us, it's in Westmoreland, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
with Fesco, um, you could just look. But then maybe that could be opportunity, because maybe most people, suppose most people that like invest in the JSE and stuff, they might be from Kingston. So then they might not realize, yo, that those new gas stations RPL is opening up are doing amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know how like when Fesco was full, people used to sell all these, send pictures and videos and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Of
not
them in
necessarily
the
as
line in the
obvious.
middle of the night.
And then just one day, bam, drop the reports. It's a crazy, like, wow, I didn't expect this. Like,
Yeah.
look at this. But then the
Yeah.
person who either lived in Westmoreland and then watched it say, wait, they're making a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Or the person who lives in Kingston but has a Westmoreland friend and calls him up. He's like, hey, bro,
That's me.
tell me about this gas station. Or the person, you could all drive down. How
Yeah.
serious are you about your money?
All right. Because, I mean, if you're heavily invested in the stock, I would have met the drive, because this drive could determine whether you're making a lot more
I mean,
money. I mean, I'm pretty sure,
the stock price could pay for your gas tank,
and your
baby.
toll times
And you
10,
told,
you know, it's
if you did it
possible.
right,
Exactly. It's how much
if
you
you did
really
it
want.
right.
Yeah, it's how much you really want it still. So,
Buying is believing, bro. Buying is
hmm,
believing too.
agreed. So yeah,
You can,
that's why I like RPL. I'm excited to see if other things come out for the rest of the year, but based on just a surface level, that's kind of why I like RPL.
and it also meds the fact that they just listed
Mm-hmm.
their recent listing, like the promotion from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like people might be reading about, like I think in the prospectus, didn't they talk about? They spoke about like some of their pricing and things like that, like
Oh,
how
how
weak
competitive
seller.
their pricing
Yeah,
was.
so imagine you are
Mm-hmm.
someone who's been buying LPG or cooking gas at your
Mm-hmm.
house, and you hear about this RPL thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you all made some money off the IPO. Your friends talking about it, and you're like, "Yo, I hear they're actually really affordable. They
Yeah.
deliver to your house. They do
Mm-hmm.
this." And you're like, "Wait, really?" And you say, "Why don't I try them? I own shares in the company. Why
Mm-hmm.
not?" And you do
And
it, and you say,
they
"Wow,
even
this
spoke
is really
about
good."
LPG too. Like that, they spoke about spending some of the money on LPG, like expanding that, purchasing a fuel
Mhm.
tank trailer, and so on. So, yo,
That's likely they saw the demand, or the possible demand that listing can help to boost
Precisely.
and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, I want to capitalize on this.
Listing is also marketing. People don't say that, but listing is literally marketing. There are other companies on the JSE. I'm pretty sure that they've listed and have gotten significant business just
Yeah, I
from
think Dollar
listing.
spoke about that.
Hmm.
Um,
Imagine how many more people know about Dollar now than pre-IPO, right? Name another company you think that got a lot of like business after listing. A company
Spurtree.
you like,
I'm surprised. Like,
Spurtree.
I feel like people would, yeah,
Hmm.
but people talking about Spurtree and stuff like that. Suddenly, now when you used to walk past, you used to walk through the aisle, not to the spices, but it's like your brain is now primed and
Hmm.
or conditioned that you like you'd walk through and pick it up more readily.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
yeah.
oh yeah, didn't I made money off of this? Or my brethren was talking about. You meant that, yo, think about that.
You know
You
that's
don't
why I
even
buy
have to be
Fesco, right?
someone. You don't
That's
even
what.
no. You don't even have to be someone that invests.
Yeah.
You could be someone that doesn't invest, but
Hmm.
you heard your investing friends, maybe the investing friends that were listening to the Limitless podcast, talking about spiritually, and then then you might be like, wait, I heard about this spiritual thing. My brethren Theon was talking about it.
Mm.
Let me try the spice. I need some jerk chicken spice or whatever.
Mm. No, I trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, give me another company you like, bro. Let's switch it up a bit.
Um.
2023, big year.
Uh. JFP. JFP.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. We share the same sentiments. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, what's the love?
Oh wait,
Wow,
wait, wait. No, no, no.
marketing
Hold on.
post IPO.
Hold on.
Look at
You
that.
asked me a question. You asked me a question about dollar. You have to answer the same question about RPL.
What? Oh, price?
Yeah.
Sorry, man, I get over
You're
that.
not
All right,
getting away, bro.
RPL.
You're not getting away. You're not getting away. You're not getting away.
RPL is 160 now. Expected profits end of year. Taking into account LPG and fuel, automotive fuel, automotive petroleum. Boy, 160 now. I could see them at $3 by the end of the year. I could see them at least approaching. I'd say them at 280, 280 minimum.
It's like 80%.
Yeah, I should have my 280 minimum. I mean, look at the float. One man really owned the thing, isn't me? So I kind of like it. I do like it. I do like it. So yeah,
Um.
I think he'd pay
Yeah. So
himself a
what's
nice dividend too. I feel like a company like that, like you know, gas. I sell gas. I'm pretty sure he'd pay himself a nice
I think
dividend.
the shareholders will be happy.
Yeah, I think so as well. I
Number one
agree.
shareholder.
You know.
Yo, that always kills me whenever like some of these people, like some of the high ups in the companies, like especially like when they own all the max, the 80% or whatever, they're like, yeah, we want to reward the shareholders. You mean you?
You just want a
It's your
bigger check,
company.
bro. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we get some money too, but I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed.
But
Back to JFP.
JFP. I guess you're gonna
Yeah.
ask me why JFP.
Well, yeah. Why JFP? Why JFP?